In being introduced, everyone has a doctor in front of their name. Well, I am a doctor of nothing. So you're welcome. Actually, I am 23 years now in advocacy for the blind and visually impaired. I started the Curing Retinal Blindness Foundation 12 years ago. We just got our big NIH grant, $1.25 million. I've been at 2 conferences since I got the news, and I am sharing it with all of you, whether you care or not, because I am exhausted from this work in curing retinal blindness. I also recently launched Thriving Blind Academy, where we are a certification program for people that are blind and visually impaired to gain employment, fight all of the horrible statistics out there for the blind and visually impaired. Now, I was a 3rd grade teacher, you guys, so we're gonna have a little fun up here. I was a 3rd grade teacher. I didn't even meet, I never met a blind person until I was 28 years old, and now I feel like, my kids are like, I think you know every blind person on the planet. I didn't meet a blind person until I was 28 years old, and it just so happened that it was my firstborn son. Michael was diagnosed at 4 months old with LCA, Leber's congenital amaurosis, which you may know that name from Luxturna, was just approved a few years ago to treat. It was the first ever inherited retinal disease treatment. And then 3 years later, after Michael was born, 3 years later, I heard that sentence again, your son is blind, with my second baby. I did not start this journey well, so I want to put this in perspective. If some of you are, if this is an uncomfortable conversation today, or you just don't know what your next right step is in terms of this topic, we're going to give you a next right step, a few next right steps today. But I started this with no knowledge as well. And if I can be where I'm at today, so can all of you. And we can make the changes and impact. But when I tell you, when I finally got my head around, you can watch my TED Talk to see the moment. It was my 3.5-year-old son, Michael, that was like, dude, wake up. I got some things to do in this world, and I'm going to need your help. I was just setting out to be a great sighted guide for my boys. Just a great mom, getting them what they need, follow their lead, help them get out there in the world. And then in kindergarten, when I handpicked the school that my son was going to go to, because we had moved back from Chicago to my home in Philly, any other Philly girls, Philly guys out there, I handpicked a top school in this country for Michael to go to kindergarten after he sailed through preschool. And when I got the IEP goals, the individual education plan goals, all of them were he would achieve at 70%. That was the expectation. And even hanging his jacket, I'll never forget, hanging his jacket in the cubby, he would achieve that 70% of the time. And I was like, I'd been out of education for a while, I'd been home with my kids, and I said, do these cubbies move? Like, do we have some new kind of cubbies? Nope, it's the wooden locker on the wall that had always been there. I said, why wouldn't he find that cubby and be able to hang his jacket up? And they said, because he's blind. I said, if he can't hang that jacket up every single day with 100% accuracy, our strategies teaching him how to do that are the problem, not blindness. Well, can you all come with me now when I talk about this and clap? Because people are like, what? He's blind, he can only do that. So I will say that this is how I want you to understand how much is possible when you look at this differently. When I realized that blindness was not the burden, it's our strategies, it's our bias, it's the old story we've been telling ourselves about blindness. When I realized that that was the problem and started removing those barriers out of my boys' way and advocating all along their journey. Michael just graduated Penn State University last year in the top 0.5%. He was summa cum laude in 2 majors, 2 minors, and he is working his dream job in Disney right now. He takes me to Epcot when I go visit him. Awesome. But 70% of the blind community is unemployed because this world believes that blindness is a burden. My son Mitchell, my second blind son, is a sophomore in college. He is a radio show. He's got hit radio shows in sports and country music. 5 o'clock Fridays is the Redneck Rush Hour, hosted by Mitchell Smedley. And Mitchell was in the top 3% of high school graduating seniors when he graduated. I mean, we have to change the story we're telling ourselves about all the things related to this topic.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.